I was having a nightmare. I was dreaming that you didn't subscribe. But I know that's nothing I have to worry about. Dreams are weird, aren't they? Why do they happen? How do they happen? Maybe it's something we should talk about. Well, I'm already awake, so let's get to it. Dreams are one of the most interesting things that our body does every single night. And science still doesn't fully understand why our brains do it. But today I'll go, ow! Fuck! Ah! Yeah, fuck that, dude. I'm going back to the computer. I was gonna try to be artsy, but I'm good. As I was saying before I burned myself, science doesn't really know why we dream. They have a lot of theories, like dreams help process our emotions during our waking lives, help our brains process memories, and even get us prepared just in case there is a threat while we sleep. Another interesting theory that I saw online is that our brains literally can't turn off our senses like sight and sound, so instead it just makes up random scenarios while we sleep so it can distract us long enough so we can get well rested. I like that last theory because it makes me think that the brain is just like, alright, so we got sight and sound. They're just gonna go absolutely crazy of boredom if we don't give them something to do. Let's just say, oh, what if they're running for their lives by a screaming ghoul and, you know, hey, they might get scared, but it's going to keep them distracted all night. What do you guys think? Let's do it every single night. But overall, science is still trying to decipher our brains and all the activity that goes on while we sleep. But you can't help but wonder, dreams are so common. In fact, every single person in the world has at least a couple dreams every single night. They usually just forget them before they wake up. So if they're so common, how do we know so little about them? It's almost like our brains are trying to keep a secret, and they don't want us to go investigating too much. Kind of creepy, right? I mean, there's a big-ass weird puzzle in your head, and we still can't decipher it. And it happens every single night. Now, with so many people in the world catching Z's every single night, there are a lot of different types of dreams. So without further ado, let's get into my favorite and most sought-after type of dream, the lucid dream. Lucid dreams are dreams where the person becomes aware that they are actually dreaming during the dream. You getting tired of the word dream yet? Well, buckle up. During a lucid dream, people have been said to actively change the environment, characters, and narratives of the dream. Honestly, that sounds like the most badass thing. Imagine you're just sleeping and you're just like, this is a dream. I can do anything. Stop it. Stop it. I know what you're thinking. Stop. No, get down, down. Dreamers usually confirm when they are lucid dreaming by having knowledge that they are dreaming, are able to change the laws of physics, and completely understand that changes to the dream world will not affect the real life world. But not everyone can do this. As a matter of fact, it is very, very challenging to reach that stage. There are 4 general stages of lucid dreaming. Starting off with the most common stage, beginners. To put it simply, beginners of lucid dreams are literally, like I said earlier, where you just like, I'm dreaming. And that's like the beginning steps of lucid dreams. This is fairly common and people experience this quite a bit, but most people generally wake up as soon as they realize they're dreaming. Beginner level lucid dreaming is very common. A lot of people, I imagine even you right now, the viewer, yes, you right there. You probably had a dream where you just like, yeah, I'm dreaming, and just wake up. I mean, that is the beginning levels of lucid dreaming. On to the next stage. Experienced. You become aware that you are dreaming, and you may start to attempt to change things like the environment and or narrative. Essentially, you just leveled up. You know, you started off as this little baby Charmander, and now you're just like a Charmeleon. You know, I mean, it's just slightly different. No one likes Charmeleon, so I don't know. You know, I went on a little bit of a deep dive, and I don't know how you're supposed to get better at lucid dreaming. I don't know how you're supposed to like plan to have a lucid dream, but I don't, maybe go see some Tibetan monks or something like that. That's what Batman does. The next level is proficient. Proficient would be fully understanding that you are in a dream and have control over the environment, people, and narrative, while also completing a wide variety of tasks. To bring it back to Pokemon, you're Charizard now, okay? You can fly around, you can change people, narratives, complete other tasks, and all that cool shit. But be warned, this level of lucid dreaming does not come without a price. It is said that you must train not only mentally, but physically to your limits for an extended period of time, even up to 5 years, just to experience this dream occasionally. But again,
I don't know how you train for this. How do you plan for a lucid dream? I don't know. I'm going to let scientists 100 years from now figure that out. But we're not done. There is one more level to lucid dreaming. The experts. To put it simply, you're a god. You are him. Yeah, you're the guy. At this extremely rare level of dreaming, you are completely aware that you are asleep and everything that you do is not going to affect the outside world. At this level of expertise, not only can you change your surroundings, but you might even be able to manipulate time. Living entire lives in just one dream. I don't know about that one. I don't. That sounds like some science fiction shit. I mean, that's legitimately just Inception. That's don't get me wrong. Great movie. Love that movie. You know, I'm gonna throw the yellow flag on that one. I don't know if I believe that. It is said this level of lucidity can be obtained through decades of training, not only physically but mentally, as well as potential mentorships with someone who has already reached this level of enlightenment, like Tibetan Buddhist masters. That sounds like some Batman shit. Yeah, you know how anytime Batman does something crazy, he's always like, well, yeah, I mean, I learned it from the Tibetan monks up in the mountains in Tibet. Like, how, dog? Like, how do they know this? How are they experiencing these things? No wonder Batman's so good at everything. He went to Tibet to learn from these monks, and then he spent like 10 decades in his own mind during dreams learning kung fu and shit. Also, that thing about like living an entire life like in a dream and then just waking up, I feel like that would suck. Oh, you guys remember that Reddit story from a long time ago where this guy, he got like a traumatic brain injury, and while he was in a coma, he lived an entire life. Like he said he remembers like meeting with this girl and being in a long relationship with her, getting married, having kids, and living their entire lives together, like literally decades. And then one day he was sitting on the couch and he saw like a lamp like look blurry, and it freaked him out. And then eventually that unraveled his entire dream, and he ended up waking up. But like the guy spent decades in a dream just to wake up after a coma from a head injury. Fuck that. That would be horrible. But if you want to learn how to lucid dream, find your nearest Tibetan monastery and go ask them. I don't know how to help you. The second type of dream we'll be talking about today is actually the daydream. Everyone knows what a daydream is. We've all had them. They're not actually dreams that happen when you're asleep, but they're just your mind takes over. You know, you'll be in the middle of class. Generally, that's where I used to have a real big problem daydreaming whenever I was younger, especially like middle school, high school area. I would just do this and just stare. I would just think of like imaginary situations and just imagine jumping out the window and flying around and doing all this goofy stuff. And I'd just be sitting there like, and the girl would look right at me and I'm just like, daydreams aren't exactly a mystery or anything like that, like lucid dreams. They're literally just points where you probably get bored, your mind starts to wander, and your imagination completely makes you abandon the task that you were doing. And as a matter of fact, one of my favorite movies of all time, which I might actually make a video about one day, we'll see, and it's kind of gotten more like notoriety over the past couple years, is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this movie, the titular character Walter Mitty, played by Ben Stiller, he's actually like kind of a dork, kind of a nerd, but he always has this this thing where he just freezes and his mind just wanders, and he thinks of like these wonderful adventures that he goes on and these like intense action scenes that he just, you know, it randomly pops in his head from time to time, and it'll happen just in the middle of like conversation. He'll just be like, and then someone will just like poke him in the face to wake him up. That was me. I resonate with that a lot because I would just zone the fuck out. Anyways, I'm not going to get too much into that movie. I might make a video about it because I really like that movie. Go watch it if you haven't. I think it's on like Hulu or something. All right, daydreams. That was nice and simple. Next up, wet dreams. Oh yeah, this is the one you've been waiting for. Wet dreams are a very common and normal part of puberty and development. To be blunt, your dream thinks of a nasty, hot, sweaty situation, and then you wake up in a pool of sticky stuff. That's what it is. The main culprit of these types of dreams is a rise in testosterone during puberty, and these dreams usually happen during REM sleep. And I kind of feel weird that I just now mentioned it, but REM sleep is very important for dreams. REM is random eye movement, and essentially if an outside person looking at someone that's sleeping, it's just a person that's just like, Maybe without the noises. Who knows? I don't know. During REM sleep, you are generally dreaming, and those dreams tend to be very vivid and detailed. Which is exactly what you want when dealing with these type of dreams. While most people have these type of dreams in their adolescent years, many people have reported wet dreams all the way into their adulthood and beyond. Me personally, I have never actually had a wet dream, which is probably a good thing because I'll tell you what, I'd be dropping loads, dog. I would be in an actual puddle. Why did I say that? I've had sex dreams before. It just never got to that point. You guys don't care. I'll tell you what though, it's a good thing not everyone could lucid dream because lucid dreams and wet dreams would be hand in hand. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Don't look at me like that. I know exactly what you're thinking. Down! Get down! Next up. To put it simply, nightmares are a dream that elicit fear or a feeling of dread from the dreamer, causing them to generally wake up. Now, if by some miracle you don't know what a nightmare is, first of all, how does it feel to be one of God's favorites? Next time you see the man, tell him I said, what the fuck? You know, why? While most nightmares generally occur with children and young teens, they can also be associated with conditions like anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Pretty sure we've all had a nightmare before, right? I mean, again, like I said, if you haven't, the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. They're horrible. They're horrible. I hate them. You get scared, obviously, then you wake up and you're all sweaty and you're confused and you're feeling scared and you look around and all the lights are off. You're just like, am I still dreaming? Am I still in the nightmare? However, it is important to point out the difference between bad dreams and nightmares. They're very similar, except nightmares just generally take a more powerful toll on the dreamer. This can be achieved by dreaming that you're falling, being late, drowning, naked in public, being chased, and even death. Oh, okay. I'm going to share something with you, okay? When I was young, I'm talking like maybe 7 or 8, I had a dream that I was getting chased by a T-Rex. I remember this dream so vividly. I remember dreaming and there was this dinosaur and it just ate my family. I can see like the remnants of my family on the floor. And I turn and I'm running away. I'm trying to haul ass. And I know I'm not moving very fast. And all of a sudden you feel I can still vividly remember the feeling of a T-Rex, like all the weight of the T-Rex right behind me, and I could almost feel like the breath on my back, bro. That horrified me, and I was like 8, and I still remember that, dog. I'm 25 now. Also, death dreams. I feel like most nightmares end in death, right? Like that's generally why you wake up, right? Whenever you're having a dream and like say you're falling or you like for me, I get eaten by a T-Rex. Generally, whenever your brain realizes that, hey, I just made this thing up and I'm dying, I should probably wake up, and then you're awake. I feel like that's most nightmares, right? Like I said earlier, everyone knows what a nightmare is, but it's important to remember that everything is being generated by your brain. That's it. Isn't that just crazy to think that you go to bed and your brain's just like, you know what he needs? He needs to be chased by a ghoul through a dark forest. Yeah, that's what he needs right now. It's like, what the fuck? It really be your own organs, man. It really be like the one guy you think you can count on, yourself, and you can't even do that. And the last type of dream I want to talk to you about today, deja vu, or I guess it's deja rêve. Most people call it deja vu because that's like how they interpret it, but apparently I looked it up. It's called deja rêve. So I'm just gonna call it deja vu. I'm just gonna call it deja vu. Everyone knows what deja vu is. Now, the technical meaning behind the term deja vu is the feeling that one has already experienced the present situation, even though it's known to be new. And again, deja rêve, or again, I think it's French, not French. Sorry. I don't speak surrender. The term for deja rêve is essentially just the same thing as deja vu, except you just dream that you've experienced this before and you know it came from a dream instead of just a past experience. No matter what your definition is, this is how I know it, and this is what I wanted to talk about. We dream of the future and no one ever seems to talk about it. Like honestly, I don't know how to explain it. Like I dream of things, and I have the faintest memories of these things, and then those things happen in real life. How? How does that happen? This is the reason why I don't, this is the reason why I believe in fate. Because these things, I dream of these things and then they happen. I've looked into this. I have looked into this. There's not much research on it and it drives me insane. It doesn't happen too much anymore. Like I have this feeling like maybe twice a year, but like whenever I was younger, I would have this feeling like once every other week, I would dream of something and then I would just be like, oh, hey, I experienced this in a dream. Oh, yeah, well, that's so weird. And dog, I promise you, I'm not doing this for intention. I'm not doing this for intention. It's just something I've experienced since I was a kid, and no one's ever talked about it. I see some people talk about it, but like, no one's ever like gone in on it. You know, if I said this like 1,000 years ago, they would probably like either burn me at the stake for practicing witchcraft, or they would like appoint me as like person that speaks to the gods. Like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Again, I don't have any like I don't have any like studies to go through or anything like that. I looked online for a little, probably at least half an hour looking for like some kind of study. There was a couple of small ones, but nothing like exactly what I was looking for. And like, come to think of it, how would you even study something like this? It's almost impossible to get it. Like, how would you even like begin to study something like that when they're so rare? And you know, like, I don't know how it would happen, but the fact that from my point of view, we have some kind of precognition, dog. And that is the weirdest shit I've never seen anyone talk about. Ugh, getting all sweaty. That one got me heated up. And I don't even have anything to talk about. That was just like a vent sesh for me. In conclusion, dreams are very interesting. Even with all the technology we have in the modern day, we still don't really have any kind of pinpoint idea of why we have dreams or what their meanings are. But it is important to remember that everything you see when you fall asleep is generated by the little pink squishy thing right behind your eyes. Unless it's a night terror. Like that's bordering on something else. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe a part 2. There's still a lot of dreams I did not talk about. So, hey, if you're interested, let me know. But thank you for joining me on this little stroll and my little rant about dreams. If you like what you saw, hit like, all that cool stuff. I am still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. I am going to do something crazy at 1,000 subs, and I might even let you guys decide what it is. This type of video is a little different than things I usually make, but if you did get it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you didn't like it, hey man, don't worry about it. Let me know how I can improve down in the comments. And if you never want to see me again, or if we never meet again, I hope you have a good life. Bye.